So welcome back, another Club 600 podcast episode. I am joined with Sandy Morvillo. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Sandy.
Hi, I'm Sandy Morvillo. I've been an instructor here for, oh my gosh, maybe close to 15, maybe 15 years. And I was the director here for about 10 years. And happy to be here today.
So you've been here pretty much since the club opened.
Yes, teaching. So I started off just teaching one class. In fact, we always go back to this really funny story. When the original owners, Jesse and Phil, bought the club or were here when they first opened, I came and I was about 8 months pregnant and they were in a trailer out back, just, building out this place. And I came to them, we had moved to Bedford a couple of years before and I was teaching up the street and I've been teaching for a long time. And I came to them and asked them if they were looking for a director or if they were looking for instructors. And they took one look at me because I was so pregnant at the time. And they were like, she's not gonna be around. And I always throw that back in their face because then they were dying later on. They were like, oh no, we should have taken you. Because I taught up until the day I had my son.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was not an issue at all. They didn't know me. So.
Yeah, I mean, anybody that knows you knows you're a workhorse. So I'm honestly
not
surprised
it was not
to
an
hear
issue
that.
being pregnant at all. Yeah, that didn't stop me at all. It was really fun actually doing it. So I would promote that for so many people, and I have over the years people coming in that are pregnant. Of course, you always have to check with your doctor. And you don't want to start anything new, but certainly the more you move during pregnancy, it's so much easier afterward to lose that baby weight. It's just, it's amazing how much easier it is. And you're less likely to get gestational diabetes and other complications during pregnancy. So it's a great work. And we're here, and here we are. We have everything here. So it's a one-stop shop.
Yeah, Jane and Dennis has done a great job just building everything out.
They've done an amazing job. I mean, to be here, not only, having that quick transition of buying the club, probably when you weren't maybe expecting to in that point in your life, sometimes we get thrown a curve, right? And they did just such a great job. And then, we were 2 months into their 2 or 3 months, right?
Months.
Maybe.
Yeah, we just got everything squared away from, the buyout from the previous ownership, just getting everything on the same page. And it was like,
and then right away,
doors closed.
Yeah, right. And so, I think they've done an amazing job. And I had so much fun being in here. It was very odd and surreal being in here. It was just Dennis and I lots of times, and we'd be in that back room. It was so quiet. I've never been in here before when it was so quiet. And just doing the online classes. But thank goodness they did that. And they had the foresight and the flexibility. And Dennis was so willing to learn about what sort of technology it was going to take to do that, constantly upgrading it, constantly work. I mean, there'd be many times I'd come in, I'm like, did you actually go home last night to get this set up? Because it didn't look like you maybe did. And it really helped, I think, to save them. And I honestly am not sure that every club would have done that, or every owner, whether it was this club. And as you can see around town, many places failed and weren't able to keep up with it. And I think because of our members and their loyalty that they have toward the club, and the amazing job that Dennis and Jane have done making the members feel a part of this club. I feel like they're valued here. I think that they did a really nice job, and it has made the club, I think, be successful during a time when a lot of places weren't.
Yeah.
So that's commendable to them, because it really is. It starts from them and it comes down. I mean, obviously the people who work here and who teach here, we all love it. We love the members. We love what we do. We wouldn't be here if we didn't. But it really comes from them because of the way that they've handled everything. I think they've done a really great job with it. And the members obviously notice. So we've taken on a lot of new members, which was, really needed, I think. Holding on to those.
Some fresh faces.
Some fresh faces. And then just bringing in the CrossFit was really fun and interesting, and bringing in new people. And then getting some of the people who have been here a long time, something new to try and to do. And, it might not be for everyone, but then that's why we offer both. And some of the comments that I get from people here in Bedford is they like the fact that we have both. So if or maybe you want to try both. Maybe you want to do CrossFit a couple times a week and you want to do regular classes, or you want to do yoga and Pilates or spin on the off days. And I think that that is one of the ways to stay successful in any kind of trying time, is to be flexible and to have lots of things to offer so that you can bring in people in a very safe, smaller environment. This is definitely more of your boutique-y, mom and pop kind of place, rather than I've taught at all kinds of different places, from places that look and feel like like a Lifetime Fitness or a Boston Sports Club, which are wonderful places. They're great, and they have their, everybody has their place. And that's why we offer different types of things. But this is for people, I think, that are from Bedford, local area around Bedford, Lexington, Concord. It's a really nice, has a really nice feeling to it, a feeling of belonging. It's not intimidating.
It's refreshing.
It's
refreshing.
Like
a lot of places you kind of walk in, you're just a number. You're just a number.
Yeah, they have no idea what your name is.
Yeah, I don't know your name. You hear it. You're paying your bill. Okay, good. Get in, get out.
Right? So not every place listens to what people like. They don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, it's shocking to me how many places I've actually worked at when I was younger, how they really don't care. As long as you're paying your monthly fee, they don't really care.
They really just like brush you off.
Yeah,
and whatever.
Right. Yeah, and it's not like that here at all. And for all the way from the management down, from the people who work here, like you, and the people who, teach the classes, and the other members. I think everyone really cares about the people who belong here and that come here. So it's a great atmosphere. It's one that I think when people take that sort of leap of faith and walk through the door, they immediately feel that acceptance, the fear of not knowing, or am I going to fit in? Am I going to know what to do? Am I going to look like an idiot as I'm walking through, and I don't know how to use some of the pieces of equipment? It's not like that at all. And I think a lot of people do come through right away feeling comfortable. And that's probably one of our biggest selling points here, is that it's not huge, high pressure sales. It's sort of like, if you think it's a good fit, you're going to join. If you don't, then it's probably not a great fit, right?
Yeah, we're not trying to pressure anybody. We're, this is what we have, this is what we offer, like, let's get you in and let's try to make it fit. If it doesn't fit, then we're not going to pressure you to stay or to stick around. Like,
because why would you
really
want
just
someone?
We really just want to help you figure out your goals. That's really all it's about. It's community. We really just want to help each other.
Yes, exactly. And that's a great attitude to have, and it's a great sort of, way to look at, perspective to look at fitness and healthiness. And I love the fact that they've added the nutrition piece with Cheryl, and now with the stretch lab. It's just wonderful, and so many things that are making your experience here sort of a one-stop shop.
It's all integrated.
Yeah, it's all integrated, and it all makes a difference. And it really is. It's so important, just from doing this for such a long time. It's been, for me, about almost 30 years of being in this industry. And it really is, you have to encompass it in your life. You can't just take little pieces of it and decide to get healthy with one thing, but not with other things. And you and I have had discussions about even, protein powders and things to eat, right? But people don't realize, especially when you're really young and you don't realize that it's really all encompassing. So if you're going to work your tail off in classes, or, go and get extremely meditative and yoga week after week after week, but then you're not going to eat the right way, or you're not going to spend any time stretching, or you're not going to spend any time, if you are injured, healing yourself. There's so many aspects of fitness that I think are so important, and we really have most of them here, and it's a safe environment to explore all of those, and realize what the optimal you could have for your health. And it's great. It's a really nice place to work.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Now, besides the workplace, what else do you do to keep busy? Like, what's your life like outside of the club?
Well, so most people that know, I have two boys. Well, that in and of itself keeps me extremely busy.
Basically men now.
Yeah, one's
Yeah,
graduating, so that's been a busy year for us,
Yeah.
looking for colleges and whatnot. The other one is just going into high school, both big athletes, so spending lots of time going to games and, luckily the oldest one has his license now, so that helps out a lot.
Yeah.
I have wonderful, gorgeous dog, Molly. That's my girl, my only girl. She's a 4-year-old Bernedoodle. She and I hike all that. I love to hike. That's my other real passion, and being outside in nature. I grew up in Maine, and so I really developed this love for nature and animals and being outdoors. And so when I'm not teaching, I am usually outside hiking or walking with her, spending time with her. Of course, I teach my boot camps outside, which I love. Any outdoor activity. That's why I'm constantly, even in bad weather, trying to get people to go outside here. I just think for me, it's more about connecting with nature. And I know that sounds kind of cliche, but you really
kind of hippie-ish.
Yeah, a little bit maybe, but you do have to connect with nature, and I think it's a lost art for a lot of people, and especially children. And we have to appreciate what we have. And I think if you've traveled at all to any other parts, even of the country, but even other parts of the world, we're sort of there, but maybe not doing as well as some countries, but doing a lot better than others in appreciating nature, appreciating the gift that it gives to us and how it can rejuvenate your spirit and your soul, and not just a place to get fresh air and not have to wear a mask. So there's a lot involved with it. But
I mean, it's all connected too, just like with our bodies, with this club where it's all integrated components. I mean, we're at the end of the day, we're all animals. Like, we're one with nature. We get water from Earth. Like all of our resources come from the Earth. We're literally from the ground up. Like, it's a cycle anyway. Like, we're born, we live, we die, we go back in the earth, so on and so forth. If you really want to break it down.
Sure. No, that's actually a really great way of looking at it, and I think it is important to spend some time outside. And even if you're not a super outdoorsy person, and I know it can be difficult in New England with the bugs and the
seasons.
But we don't have any poisonous things, so that's something to look at, right? If you have no real poisonous snakes or spiders and things, so
or huge natural disasters, really. You need a hurricane, if you want to classify it as that.
Yeah, and it's so easy to put on a pair of boots. Who cares? Put on a jacket and a hat.
A little money builds character.
It does build character. So we do a lot of that in our house. During COVID, we had a lot of hiking time with the kids, and teaching them, like quizzing them. What if you were lost on the side of a mountain in the middle of this weather or whatever? What would you do? So it's just I like to stay busy. I'm not a very good sit around type of person. But I do love being outdoors, zip lining, all that stuff. Anything that's outside, I love to do.
Yeah. No, I definitely feel that. That's my favorite time is outdoors too.
That's great. What do you do?
I like hiking. I like fishing.
Oh, that's great.
Basic stuff. Really anything where it's like I'm just outside. There's something about that sense of like fresh air and just like looking at the trees, like just taking in the beauty of it all. Like especially when I travel, like on vacation and whatnot. I like, of course, I like to party, I like to drink, I like to eat food, but like my favorite thing is just like the landscapes. Like, what sights do I get to see? Like, it's really breathtaking. It makes you feel like you're part of something way bigger than yourself, like just being like a human,
Right. Yeah, that's great. That's really good. That's you're so young and you're already thinking about that stuff. So that's great. Yeah, it's wonderful. I agree with you. Yeah, it's I think it's important for people to do that. So even if you sit on your porch or your front steps for 5 minutes during the day to take a break and just to see something different, right? We have to. You
especially with all like the smartphones and TVs and Amazon, everything's like instant gratification. It's like all stimuli. It's completely different just to unwind and just. It's like you're staring into nothing. Like, it's so calming, but there's always something going on around you. Like, the wind's blowing. Like, there's bugs scurrying around. There's rabbits. If you really like break it down, like there's a lot of stimuli going on just within Earth itself.
Sure.
Whereas a smartphone, it may not be directly in your face like a smartphone, but it's right there in front of you as long as you're looking for it.
Yeah. No, I am definitely. My friend. People laugh at me. I'm like about 8 o'clock at night, my phone gets plugged in. All of our phones have to be plugged into the kitchen at night. No one gets to take them into their bedroom to sleep with them, and they're off. And that's there until the next day.
I wish I had that discipline.
Yeah, you just I can't stand that that dinging,
The
and I
buzzing.
can never seem to turn it off correctly. I'm definitely not the savvy one in our family.
I know from just the speaker every day.
Yeah, no, I'm not, because I don't care. I don't care about electronics and stuff. I would still be using my little black book if I could, because I like tangible things. But you know, it's a necessity, I guess, of life if you're gonna live now. And I do have an iPhone, but I'm not tied to it. I don't care about it at all. Like if I lost it for a week, I'd be like,
you can go back to a minute phone in a heartbeat.
I would be grateful not to listen to it. Yeah, it was great. It wouldn't be going off on me. Yeah. But I do love the music and stuff. So again, that's one of the things, like when we're teaching, I love the music. I love the playlists. I love going back and getting like 70s and 80s and 90s and 2000. I like putting those playlists together. That's really fun. That's one of the things I love about this job. I'm also a massage therapist. I haven't been doing that the last probably year and a half. But I have been a massage therapist for about 25 years and a personal trainer. So I am doing the personal training. A lot of it's on Zoom. And I was really surprised at how much easier it was on Zoom. When
Bob was saying the same thing.
Bob and I had a couple of conversations and I'm like, I really was like, this is never going to work. You're going to feel so detached from people, but I feel like I'm hyper focused on the person. I'm looking right at that person. I'm seeing every little minutia of everything that they're doing. And I actually kind of like it. And I feel like I can meet with people more often because it's an appointment, you're on and off at the exact time.
It's almost more convenient too. It's like, you may not have as much space or as much gear to work with, but just meeting, it's like instant. Like you flip on the computer, smartphone, whatever, you're there.
It makes you, as a trainer, I have to really rethink out of the box, right? So I've had to reinvent some of the things that I used to do with people because maybe I had more space or maybe I didn't have to worry about them going in and out of camera. And so it's really made me really look at myself and what the things that we become stagnant and what we're doing as well, and having to watch, webinars and videos and learning new things for classes. And even when we were doing the Zooms online with Dennis and I were doing it at the very beginning, I went from having an entire room of space to having a square foot of like 3 feet of space. And so that really makes you rethink of what you can do and because people at home probably didn't even have any, equipment. And so we were trying to really get creative with that. So it was sort of, a good thing if you want to look at anything that came with
it's perspective, you realize like, maybe I don't necessarily need the gym. Like maybe I need Sandy pushing me because I'm not gonna do it myself, but I don't necessarily need to come into the gym. As long as I have X amount of space with like just minimal things, I can still stay in shape.
The way I look at it is, certainly it's way easier here. Right. And it's more, you've got more at your fingertips. So as an instructor, as a participant, there's way more. It makes the class much more interesting, and you're probably going to get a lot more out of it because you've got, different pieces of equipment and you've got more things. However, the way I look at it is, it's almost like a snow day. We're never going to we don't ever need to have a snow day again, because if there's a snow day, they just go online. So, they can still have class. Is it as good as in person? No. But does that mean that you have to miss it? No. So you're not getting behind. So it's the same thing as if you're at home and you can't get in here.
Less excuses.
Yeah.
Really.
You can always go on Zoom. There's never a day that you have to miss because you can't connect with someone that can help motivate you to get done what you need to do. And I think that that's another good thing that's come out of it. I think you just have to stay committed to what your goals are, so that whether you're here in the building or home on Zoom, you don't give yourself the option not to do it. And that's tricky for a lot of people. That's the tricky piece, is that it has to become a part of your life, and you just don't give yourself the option not to do it. If you give yourself the option, sometimes we take the easy way out. If you don't give yourself the option, then you're automatically going to be on board, and you're just doing it because it's a part of your life, and it's just like brushing your teeth. You're just going to automatically get up and do it. So it becomes
a habit.
Yeah, it becomes a habit. Yeah, absolutely, like anything else. Yeah, it's great.
Now, I ask everybody that comes on the podcast, if you had one tip for staying in shape, what would you give?
One tip. So my biggest tip would be, it's kind of twofold. The first one would be to move every day. You have to move every single day, whether you are going to a class, going for a walk, you know, gardening, going for a swim, redoing your roof of your house. You have to be active. It's not enough to just come in and work out once a day and then sit on your duff the rest of the day. You have to be active every single day. Obviously, if you're sick or injured, you have to take time off to let your body heal. That's a different thing. The second thing is I think as you get older, especially, but it's easier if you start when you're younger, to really fine tune your eating. And I say that because as you get older, you can't eat the same things or the same quantity of things, whether you're male or female. Female, it's even worse, unfortunately. But you have to, the earlier you learn to fine tune your eating habits and make them cleaner and get out of the garbage out of your life and learn, how do you group foods together, combine them in a way that work for you instead of against you. Portion control, all of those things, if you start earlier in life, it gets much easier as you get older to fine tune that as you go on, because you can't have one or the other. I think you have to work simultaneously with both of them to get optimal fitness and optimal health. And it's a great experiment, because I know even for myself, if I eat too much sugar in one day or a couple of days, or if I have something I don't normally have, maybe something processed. We don't have a lot of processed food, and I just don't buy it.
Yeah.
But if I did have something, if it was like a special occasion and I went, I don't know, for example, if I went to the county fair, which I don't do, but I'm making it. If I go to the county fair and I have a piece of fried dough, which I would never do, but I'm just saying, let's just say if I do, and you have a piece of fried dough, the next day you're going to wake up feeling so low and your energy so low, because you're all that sugar and garbage and fried oil and everything that's left in your body. It really does affect you the next few days, your workouts, your energy level, your mindset, everything. So I think that those the biggest pieces of advice that I could get people is the earlier you start to fine tune your good eating habits and your quote unquote diet, and not doing fad diets to get to the goals that you want, because it's not sustainable, but fine tuning a good healthy lifestyle, a good healthy diet, and making sure that you're getting some sort of movement every single day of your life. Then it just helps you coast. As you get older, it's a lot easier to transition into those more difficult periods of your life where maybe your metabolism slows down, or you have an injury or something stressful going on in your life. I just think that makes it a lot easier and less challenging.
Nice. A little 2-for-1 tip on
this.
Yeah,
2-for-1.
I'm sure they'll take it. Why not?
Yeah.
Now, what's the best way to reach you if they want to get in touch with you for personal training, or just learn more about yourself or your classes that you teach?
Well, you could either, always leave me a message here at the front desk, or I'm at sandymorvillo@gmail.com. I also have a website, sandymorvillo.com. So I've got a whole nice website that Beth Benuti helped me set up. She actually didn't help me. She did it. She's clearly, because of my skills, my technological skills, she's amazing. She did such a great job. She designs and builds up websites. So she did that for me when she was first starting to get together, and she did a beautiful job. It was just exactly represents who I am, and so people could also get in touch with me through that.
Okay, perfect. Was there anything else you wanted to add?
No, I don't think so. This was really fun. It was great to catch up.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.